What's going on, everybody? So, wanted to make a video of basically kayak safety. So, I always carry a first aid kit with me on my kayaking trips, whether I'm just going out to the pond or if I'm going out on a river camping trip. I always have at least one first aid kit in my boat. For the past few years, I've actually been using just like a Bass Pro first aid kit, just for the basics. And then earlier this year, I came across this company called My Medic and really looked into their stuff and decided to get what's called their Boat Medic. Comes in this waterproof box. It has some heavy duty latches on the side, so it is going to stay secured. Right now, you can't like bump it and make this come off. You have to push this button down, pull out, and then you can open it. So not really going to go over everything that's inside of this box. Just more so want to go over basically trying to get as many people as I can to carry a first aid kit of some sort while they're in their kayak. You never know what kind of things can happen on a kayak. The most likely injuries were rolled ankles, cuts, scrapes, stuff like that. And this thing comes with absolutely everything I could possibly need and more on the river. The main one I'll probably use is a splint. This thing just folds out and then you can make a splint. Got some ice packs in there, Band-Aids, cleaning stuff like that. Just the basic stuff you're gonna need to fix a cut. And then also do have a tourniquet. I hope I never need to use this while I'm out on the kayak, but it is good to have. This kit actually comes with this tourniquet. It's more of like just a rope and you wrap it around and then you use this cleat to make it really tight. I've never really used that kind of tourniquet, so I wanted to get one that I'm familiar with, which is this cat tourniquet. This one you just wrap around and then you spin. I always forget what this thing is called. But you wrap this thing around. This is what we use in the military. This is what you wrap around to actually make it really tight. But basically, guys, if you are out on a kayak, please carry some sort of first aid kit. If you guys saw the last camping trip video I did with Way of Fishing, the final episode, you actually see me making a huge mistake. And that mistake is going back upriver to help someone else get their gear. Now, while that seems normal to do to a lot of people, it's like, oh yeah, my buddy lost his gear, I need to go up there and help him. In kayaking, unless it is a life-threatening emergency, you should not risk that, because now you're putting yourself at risk of an injury. And that almost happened. You can see, I'll add the video later on, a link to that video later on, but you can actually see at the end of it, I actually slip on a rock and you see my leg bend in a very weird way and I almost broke my ankle. I did not have a splint in my first aid kit at the time. I didn't need it, but I came very close to needing one. If I would put just a little bit more weight on my leg when that happened, it would have been it was probably another 3-4 miles left of that trip. That would have, at that time of the day, that would have added another day to our trip. We got off the river right at night set. And if I would have rolled my ankle or broke my ankle and would not have been able to portage the next 1 mile section of where we have to portage our kayaks, that would have turned into a very long trip and we would have had to camp, which would have been too bad because we had enough food, we had all of our camping gear, so we could have done it. It just would not have been ideal. If I would have had a splint and that injury happened, it would have been a lot easier and probably just added like another hour or so onto the trip. So Guys, if you're going to go kayaking, especially if you are doing river expeditions, please, please, please carry a first aid kit. As y'all know, I always wear my life jacket. That's number one. And then the next best thing for safety is some kind of first aid kit. You don't need to go this detailed. Like, this thing has medications for headaches, stuff like that. I mean, this thing even has an upset stomach on, space blankets if it gets super duper cold. Hypothermia does play an effect on some of our river trips that we go on. Pressure bandages, I probably wouldn't need that on a kayak, but you never know. Band-aids, gauze, gloves. This one is the Sprain and Fracture Kit. This thing basically is an ace bandage, finger splint, some bandages in there. So that thing should handle everything that I would ever need. So check them out, mymedic.com. And the main reason that I went with them is because they are I'm not sure if the CEO in them are military. I do know the guy that does all the reviews on their YouTube channel who works for MyMedic. He is Special Forces. So I like to support companies that have military backgrounds. And if you are military, they actually extend a discount for you. I'm pretty sure it was 30%. When you go to checkout, they just ask you to confirm everything with GovX, and then you log in with GovX, and then it just transfers over. So any military guys that are kayaking, definitely check these guys out. The box itself is actually made by Nanook. I forget what model it is, but they make high quality boxes. I am not worried about this thing even going down rapids and tumbling around rocks and waterfalls. This thing is a very stout case, and it's going to keep everything that I have in here secured, which could potentially save my life. I do plan on doing a pretty big trip. I don't know, I've been trying to do this trip for like 5 years. Hopefully next year it can happen, and I would definitely need this thing on there. You can lock it for storage, like if you're going on airplane and stuff like that. It is TSA approved, so you can just put a lock on there, send this with your luggage and on the plane. So that's it. Kind of went a little longer than I planned, but this is the MyMedic Boat Medic. They also have like backpack style kits. They also have just big pouches for cars and hiking, putting into other boat bags. So if you're needing a first aid kit, they definitely have everything you would possibly need. So thanks, guys. Just again, I'm going to say it again. Just if you were going to kayak, please, please, please think about safety as well. Kayaking could be an extreme sport if you do big river stuff like me and my friends do around here. You definitely have a higher risk of getting injured than, let's say, if you were just going to go kayaking on a lake. Even if I'm kayaking on a lake, I'm still going to have my first aid kit with me. But yeah, that's it. Next week is Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And I'll see y'all later.